is good, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new edition of L Boogie in the Bell. I am the Bell, of course, here with L Boogie. L Boogie, how are we doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. We just literally hours ago wrapped up the NBA regular season. Hey, Bill, I'm ready to get into some basketball talk, man. We got some exciting play-in games and obviously the playoffs to look forward to. So I'm ready to go, man.
I'm excited because I'm officially not going to be somebody who comes on this show and just talks about basketball like he actually watches the game. I'm actually going to start watching the games now that it's the playoffs and not just going based off of TikTok, Instagram, and just reels and stuff. Like that's where most of my knowledge is coming from. So I'm super
Right.
excited about that. But of course, we're gonna start with our L Boogie GM takes. L Boogie, who are we taking over with, and what are we talking about?
All right, this week I'm gonna be stepping into the shoes of the GM for the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay,
Arizona Cardinals, they had a pretty down year. Kyler Murray did not finish the season. Oh wait, no. He started off injured and then he came back towards the end, but they weren't doing anything
non-factor.
in the NFC. So they're looking to rebound. Um so the good news for the Cardinals is they have two first round picks. And what also helps them is they're a prime trade candidate. Everybody knows there's several quarterbacks and several teams who are in need of a quarterback, looking to draft one, and they may be looking to trade up to draft their quarterback of the future. So the Cardinals, they have the fourth overall pick. Now, assuming that the Bears, who probably will, and the Commanders, almost a guarantee, and the Patriots, they might all take quarterbacks. Those are your top three off the board. So if you're a quarterback needy team, you kind of have to make a move to secure your quarterback of the future. And guess who you're going to call? Arizona Cardinals. The only issue is I think it's reported the Cardinals are asking for three first round picks to give up that number 4 overall pick, which may sound kind of crazy, but don't forget that's what San Francisco gave up to draft Trey Lance.
Okay,
So what I'm doing if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I'm gonna keep that price high. I'm gonna keep that price at three first round picks until it's time for us to pick a number 4. I'm gonna keep that price up there through the roof. If a team is willing to give you that, you take it. You take it so you can fill that team with a bunch of talent. Um, and I mean, they have a lot of needs on that team. I think they definitely need a wide receiver. They're in a prime position to take the best wide receiver off the board. Some people like Marvin Harrison Jr., some people like Malik Neighbors. Um, Personally, I don't think either one of those guys is worth missing out on two or three first round picks. So draft day, you try to get rid of that fourth overall pick, get three picks. If a team is not willing to give you three, but they're willing to send you two firsts and maybe a third, fourth, maybe even a future second, I'll take that. I'll take those two first round picks to give the number 4 up. So ideally, you would trade that pick. You would get a pick later in this first round of this year to go along with your number 27 overall pick. And then you just, depending on what team, you just fill your needs. You go wide receiver, you go offensive line, depending on where the draft pick, because you need to protect Kyler Murray and you need to give him somebody to throw the ball to. So,
so
offensive line, wide receiver, that's who you target in the first round. If you get a good another first round pick and you want to go defense, you can go defense, but I think O line and wide receiver, those are your big needs. That's where you go first with your additional capital.
so are we still on a rookie contract with Kyler?
For no, he's big money.
Big money.
He's
So
big
there's no
money.
really
They
getting rid of it. No quarterback of the future. Too many complications in the locker room if you do that.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. I think you have to stick with Kyler for at least another 2 or 3 years
Damn.
before you do that. So you make that situation as good for him as possible. You give somebody to protect him so he doesn't get hurt again, and somebody to that he can throw the ball to and can be dependable.
I'm so out of the Arizona game. I guess my biggest question is you say receiver, we might go defense. All right, so It's draft day, GM, and you get that call. And who are the teams to most? So here's a bigger question: who's the team to most likely want to trade you for that fourth?
Well, let's look at what teams are quarterback needy. So obviously, I think the Minnesota Vikings, they're a trade candidate. The Las Vegas Raiders, I think they're also a trade candidate just because I don't think they have their QB of the future on the roster. At least those are the two teams. I would say the Broncos too, but I don't think the Broncos have the trade capital, and I don't
No,
think I don't think they're willing to give up first round picks for the next 3+ years
we
to
see how
make it
that went the last time.
right. So I think it's really the Raiders or the Vikings who would be willing to make that trade up. And there could be a shocker team. I think some people have said the New York Giants might be in the market for a quarterback, which maybe, but I
They
doubt it.
should be.
They should be, but you just signed Daniel Jones to a deal. I think you have to, let that deal kind of maturate a little bit before you get rid of him. Um, so I think really the Vikings. The Vikings have two first round picks. They have the capital to move up. So if they
Okay.
send you those two first round picks this year and one next year, if I'm Arizona, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
That's four first round picks in 2 years.
To completely build a team. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
I'm taking it, dude.
I don't got too much rebuttal. That's a good GM take right there.
We'll see, but
As
I
an
guess
analyst, I bow to it.
the scary part though is if you get to the time when it's time for you to draft and nobody wants to trade up to four. Well, I don't think it's really scary. I think at that point, if you're like stuck at four and you have to make that pick, you pick the best player available, which will be like the wide receiver number one. So probably Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think that's good. And don't forget they do have the number 27 overall pick from Houston. So they have that pick too in this draft. So you can go and get a late round offensive tackle, um, maybe a defensive player who has a high ceiling but might need some coaching to get him there. So you can definitely add talent to this team, but you try to get as many first round picks as you can so you can really build.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Makes enough sense. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, that was L Boogie's GM takes. We're gonna move right along into our L Boogie and the Bell trivia. Looks like I'm first. So, L Boogie. Since the year 2010, this is an NBA trivia. Since the year 2010, there have been 8 first seeded teams to win the championship. They completely win. So 2010 to 2023. Only one team has been the first seed and done it twice. So can you name the 7 teams to do it in the past 14 years? There's a lot of numbers moving around here.
I got you. I get what you're asking.
Yep.
So the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors. Oh, they've done it. So, excuse me, 6 teams. So, Golden State Warriors have done it 2015 and 2017.
Okay.
First seed made it all the way.
And you're saying who won the finals?
You had to won.
Okay, number one seed to win. Okay. And you said 2010?
2010 to this past year was 2023.
Okay, what about were the Raptors the number one seed when Kawhi won it?
That's a really good one. So they actually lost to the first seeded Golden State Warriors, and they were the number 2 seed in the East.
But the Raptors won the championship.
Yeah, but they were the second seed. I'm saying you had to have been the first seed
Oh,
going
you mean
into the playoffs.
so like not first seed in the East or first seed in the West. You mean
So first seed in the East or first seed in the West. The Raptors were the second seed when they beat the
from
Warriors.
the East. Oh, I got
Yes.
you. Okay. I thought that was
That's
I
why
thought
there's
that
only
was a
8 out
given.
of 14 because, I mean, you got people like the Heat making the finals.
Right. What about the Bucks? When the Bucks won it, were they the number one seed in the East?
They are
No.
nowhere on this list.
Whoa. What? Okay, I'm gonna have to stretch for this one. The Cavaliers, were they the number one in the East when they won it?
The Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016 were the first seed in the East.
Okay, the Miami Heat.
In 2013, LeBron's Miami
Mhm.
Heat were the first seed in the East.
Oh, the Spurs.
The Spurs in 2014 were the first seed
Yeah.
in the West.
How many teams do I have left?
Uno.
Two. One more. Uh, were the Mavericks the number one seed
No.
when Dirk? No, no. What about
You
the
got one
Lakers?
team left between the years 2010 and 2023.
Lakers?
You already said Lakers.
Did I? Oh, only so
And if you
few
didn't, then yeah, the
teams.
Lakers were the one that I thought had two, but there were two with two, which is Golden State as well. But yeah, Lakers 2010 and 2020.
All right,
First
so I'm
seeds.
missing. So I have one left.
Yep. You're gonna be very
Um,
disappointed in yourself, young man.
oh, the Nuggets. The
Yes, the
Nuggets.
2023 Denver Nuggets were the first
Yeah.
seed in the West, and they capped all of it out right there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I was about to start getting nervous. I was like, dang, who else won a championship?
See, that Raptors team was a good one because they're on this list, but they weren't. They were the second seed in the East.
Right.
El Boogie trivia.
All right. Hey, Bill, like I said earlier, we just wrapped up the NBA regular season. And before we can get into postseason play, first we got to get through the play-in tournament. Now, the play-in tournament is a relatively new concept. Right now, as we know it, teams ranked 7 to 10 play each other to take up the final two playoff spots in each conference. So, that's been the format since 2021. So this will be our fourth year with that format in the play-in tournament. So my question to you, A. Bell, can you name me the 5 franchises that have played the most play-in games?
I feel like the Warriors have been in there 3 times out of the 2, or out of the 4.
I'm not counting this year. I guess for context, I'm not
Okay.
counting this year. But if I did, they would not. They still
Who's
wouldn't.
a play-in tournament team at their heart? The Pelicans. Like,
hey! You're right. The Pelicans.
yeah, like these teams are just like that's where they belong. The Trey Young, the Hawks.
Oh, boom! 2 for 2. Yeah, Atlanta.
Come on, like they belong there.
Atlanta.
The Heat.
The Miami Heat. No, this year will be their second appearance, but they've only been in one up to this point.
Let's go with trying to think like those bottom teams. The Lakers.
The Lakers have been in. The Lakers have been in. Yep, the Lakers have been in 2.
And what are we doing? Top 5?
Top 5. So you have you named the Hawks, the Pelicans, and the Lakers. You got one team in the West and one team in the East. I feel like the East. No. I feel like the East team is going to be hard for you.
It's not the Pistons. The Pistons are number 15 every season. So, in the past 3 years, I would say, yeah, that East team sounds crazy hard. Is it somebody like Indiana? Nah, Indiana's been good seeds.
Nah, Indiana's only been in one play-in game up to this point.
Give me a hint for the East.
East, they are really bad this year. Like really bad this year.
That's a lot of teams.
But they the last 2 years haven't been the worst. A historically bad franchise, though. A historically bad one.
Let's do
not Detroit, not the Wizards.
I already said the Pacers. The Bulls? Oh no, historically bad.
Historically bad. Yeah.
I'm gonna quit on them. Who was the East?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Really?
They've made to the play-in tournament.
I feel like they'd be missing it still. I remember LaMelo did one.
They've gotten in 2 years. I think 2021 and 2022 they got in.
And this year's a no-go, huh?
Nope. All right, so you're missing one team in the West, and they're having a pretty good season this year, I would say.
Oh, the Thunder.
Not the Thunder.
It ain't the Wolves, is it? The T-Wolves.
Yeah, Minnesota Timberwolves.
They knocked out the Nuggets 3 years ago. They knocked out the Nuggets in the first one.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have been in 2 playing games.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, so if I counted this year, the Lakers, the Pelicans, and the Hawks, they've all been in 3 if I counted this year.
Okay. Well, that
So for
works.
some reason, LeBron just loves to find his way into the play-in tournament and then somehow make it to the Western Conference Finals. Like that's just his thing.
Unbelievable. Alrighty, yeah, that wasn't too bad. I'm actually gonna take a screenshot of this. Alrighty. So moving on to our topics of the day, the most important thing we could possibly speak about is these play-in tournaments and the already solidified first rounds. So starting with the play-in tournaments, we're gonna start with the West. El Boogie, what do you think happens? We'll go by based off of who plays first. Starting with the West, who do you think wins? Number 7 Pelicans versus number 8 Lakers on Tuesday.
Okay, who do I think is going to win? I think the Lakers are going to win, but I have a conspiracy theory.
Go ahead.
If you're the Lakers, if you're LeBron James, you want to make it far in this, right? You want to go the distance. But what you don't want, what I don't think LeBron wants to do is play the Nuggets in the first round. So me personally, and it's a gamble. I say you let the Pelicans win that first game. You let the Pelicans win, and then the Lakers, you go and you play the next playing game, and you beat either the Kings or the Warriors. You beat them. You take the number 8 seed and you go play OKC. Like
Nah.
no, you don't think so. I mean, it is risky. It's a gamble, but personally, wouldn't you rather play OKC the first round instead of the Nuggets?
So I mean, now that everybody's inside of a bracket, there's no escaping anybody. You can't escape your way. Like, and I think Jimmy Butler has made it very clear. Like, you can't escape how hard it is to make it to a finals. You're gonna have to meet the best team eventually. I think LeBron's playing at his highest level. I mean, you see how he finished the last month of the season. You see what he did today. he got a whole triple double, wanted that seed bad, wanted to get to that 47 wins. Like, he is ready to play, and he's playing at a high pace. He's an older gentleman, so it's like you don't know how long that could carry on. So maybe he's in the position right now where he's like, I want to go completely hard and then maybe make it a little easier throughout the playoffs. But I think he's ready to play his best basketball now compared to semis or conference championships. So I think he wants to get the Nuggets out of the way. Like, I think that he's ready to play his best basketball now. So there's no reason to avoid it, let alone the gamble that you're taking, losing a play-in game to therefore want to be a seed. And if you lose that game, then you're out of the playoffs completely. And anything can happen. And I mean, historically, let's say it ends up being this Warriors versus Lakers thing. The Lakers kind of been getting the better of them. I mean, the Warriors been kind of getting the better. So it's like, you never want to risk it too hard.
You know what's crazy? I just realized the Lakers and the Pelicans, they played each other today. And they played each other in New Orleans, and they're going to have to play the play-in game in New Orleans.
A playoff game.
So I didn't even realize that was the case, but yeah, like I mean, like I said, it was a crazy conspiracy theory. Do I think the Lakers are gonna win? Yes, I do. But just food for thought. I'd be like, hey man, OKC or Denver.
And you know what series I love? The Thunder versus the Pelicans. That'd be a fire series.
The Thunder versus the Pelicans. Honestly, I think I would rather see the Thunder versus the Warriors. Just because it's like, all right, the next young, up and coming, talented team versus the older dynasty. Like I like that
departing
contrast.
dynasty.
Yeah. Like I like that contrast. I like that storyline. So I would want to see the Warriors come out of that one. To be honest with you.
Okay, so that takes us to our next game, the Warriors versus the Kings. How does that game go? I think they're on Wednesday.
Yeah. See, my thing is, I don't know what was up with the Kings this season. Because they were a good team. They had momentum last year. I think they were the number 3 seed. Like, I don't really understand where their downfall was this year. Because it also seemed like they kept most of the same players. So you would think they'd either be the same or better. But it's hard because the Warriors, I feel like they've gotten a rhythm now, and they're healthy. So like Chris Paul is playing. Clay is actually playing better than he was in the middle stretch of the season, and Curry is Curry, and Draymond's not getting ejected from games. So I think the Warriors pull that one out. I do think the Warriors are going to win that game, even if it is in Sacramento.
So I think that the Kings don't have a proven method yet. So last year you're a good team and you lost to a team who has a proven method. Guess what? Now you're in the playoff tournament, so you actually stepped down, and so did they, but at least they have a proven method. We're talking about a dynasty. Like their proven method is that they can turn it on for the playoffs. They do have a lot of skills. They do have a similar championship team with the same roster or similar roster. Their method is proven, and they proved to them last year that you guys aren't ready to surpass a team like that. If you guys both take a step down, what makes you think that this year you're going to have the upper hand? So I definitely think the Warriors beat the Kings in the same fashion that they beat them last time, where it's like age and wisdom just kicks in a little bit more than being younger and, gunning faster. So I got the Warriors, which is going to make for a pretty cool, I believe, Pelicans Warriors game.
Yeah, Pelicans Warriors game. I feel like that one might be a challenge, a more of a challenge for Golden State, just because the Pelicans. What helps them is they're a pretty like lengthy team. Like everyone says, like oh the Timberwolves have size. I think the Pelicans have size and athleticism, and they have experience. Like they have C.J. McCollum, who's been a good player in this league for a while. Brandon Ingram, Zion is coming into his own. He's actually finishing a season,
Yeah,
and he's the athletic freak that he is. So I think that will be a much tougher matchup for the Warriors, and I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if they lose that second playing game,
it could.
especially on the road.
Yeah,
And what I think is cool about the Sacramento Golden State game is the two teams are geographically close enough to where Warriors fans can go to the Sacramento game. Like
yeah,
just because it's in
and you're in that
Sacramento,
region. How far is that apart?
it's like an
2 hours?
hour from San Francisco. It's like
Yeah,
an hour and a half.
not too
You can
bad.
yeah,
Not
you
too
get up to
bad.
Sacramento real quick, so people can go. Hey, they can fill up that stadium.
Okay, okay. All right, moving over to the East. I don't know who plays on Tuesday or Wednesday, but we have the 76ers versus the Heat. And Joel Embiid is back.
that that is a tough one. And in all honesty, when I look at the East playing games, I think it's going to be the 76ers and the Heat who make it out in the end. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like whoever wins this game is the seventh seed and who loses is the eighth seed. So I think I'm going to give this game to the Miami Heat just because I think even though Joel's healthy and he's back, that team has had to play without him for a while. And they're still kind of, they still have to work him back in. He may not even be at 100%. Meanwhile, the Heat, I think the Heat just have continuity, and it's playoff Jimmy. Playoff
Yeah.
Jimmy doesn't matter. He comes
We'll
and he
see how
plays his
much
best
that.
basketball. So I think the Heat are going to take this game. And then I mean, Bulls Hawks. It's a coin flip to me. Give me the Bulls just for funsies. But I think the 76ers are going to beat whoever wins that second game.
I so for so starting with the Sixers and Heat, I think both of these teams do make it to the actual playoffs. First, so I what I want is for the Heat to play the Knicks, because if there's anything playoff Jimmy could do, I think like he could take out that Knicks team way before that Celtics team. But like I said, I still don't trust the Celtics. They really got to prove it to me before I can have faith in them for that. Um, the Sixers, I don't got them against either. Just because I don't think Joel, I think they're gonna push 6 games to anybody in the first round. I just don't think that they're gonna do anything enough to win. But that's getting a little ahead of myself. So I got the Heat actually winning the first game and then taking on the Knicks. I got the Sixers beating. I want to say the Hawks because Trae Young's back, and I do think he's gonna play better basketball against the Bulls. But both teams are like, like it doesn't even matter. I want the Hawks to make it as far as possible for Trae Young, but other than that, I don't think either of those teams make it to an 8th seed. So whoever, flip a coin, double knockout.
Okay, so you got the Heat at 7 and then the 76ers at 8
Yeah.
after the play in. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. And honestly, I agree with you in what you said. Like, I think seeing the Heat and Jimmy Butler play against the Knicks,
Now
that's
that's a
major.
series,
That's
boy.
that's major upset alert. Major upset alert. And then I do like the Celtics versus 76ers matchup in the first round because that series will tell you something. Because that will be one of the more challenging series for the Celtics is okay, taking on Joel Embiid and the 76ers and vice versa. They will have a challenge, with the best team in the league, the Celtics. So I think that first round matchup is going to be that's going to prove something. Either the Celtics are legit and they're serious, or Joel Embiid is great. So one of those
Yeah.
two.
All right, Mike. Moving back over to the West, we're gonna leave the first and the 8th seed alone. We're gonna go 4 versus 5. Now, I think that this is gonna be the first round, the series of the first round. I think it's gonna be the best series of the first round, East or West. Clippers, Mavericks. Who you got?
Oh, this is a tough one, man. This is a
This is a
tough
fun
one.
one.
It's super fun. I agree. This is probably one of the best first round matchups that we'll get in the whole NBA. And these teams have history. I think they've played in the playoffs like the last 2 or 3 years. So there's, they got a lot to prove here. I think I got the Clippers.
Oh,
I I know I know and it feels crazy to say that, going against Luca, who was an MVP candidate and one of the best players in the league, and Kyrie, who's a great running mate, um, and they've been playing really good basketball the last month, but I think the Clippers just turn it on. I think the Clippers turn it on. They have the star power. They have the experience. They rested their stars down the stretch. So they've ensured that, all right, going into the playoffs, we are healthy. So they've put themselves in the best position to make a run at it. And I think when they fire on all cylinders, they just have the talent. They may be old. They may be older players, all of them, all their best players are 30 plus, I'm pretty sure. But I got the Clippers, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think they take it to I think it goes 7.
oh.
I think it goes 7 cuz Luka's just dominant. I think honestly, I think the Clippers win every home game, and so do the Mavericks.
So I actually got it going 6 games, and I also have the Clippers winning it. But the reason I have the Clippers winning it, and by 6 games, I think that if you need somebody to score 12 points in the fourth quarter and just turn it on and look like Michael Jordan, is going to look like Kawhi Leonard. Like somebody who just completely takes over every single time you come down the court. You could be down by 8 points, and then that one person who's going to hit 3 mid ranges, maybe a dunk, and one tough shot is going to be Kawhi. And having that player on your team in the fourth quarter during the playoffs, as long as Kawhi Leonard's healthy, that's what we're banking all this on. If he stays healthy, I know that, well, he has shown us that he does that in any given game. He could score the 12 points, and it'll come from nowhere. He'll have 18 points on the game, and then bam, 30. And it's like, whoa, what a fourth quarter for him. I think that's what wins them this series in 6 games, and I think that he's going to upset them in Dallas doing that same method. I think Dallas is going to have the lead. I trust Luka to play all 4 quarters. I trust Kyrie to go dumb as well, all 4 quarters. But when it comes to the last 7 minutes of every single game, I think that there's going to be one bad man to completely try to destroy it. And I think every home game, he's going to destroy it for them. And I think one game on the road, he's going to ruin it. Maybe like a game 4. I think the Mavs are going to have like about an 8 to 10 point lead. And here comes that train rolling down. And I think he's just going to hit shot after shot, mid-range, layup, dunk, 3-pointer game. I think that's what wins. I think Kawhi is what wins it. Super
Yeah,
exciting
yeah,
series.
I agree. But yeah, you make a good point. Health is really going to determine it. Like how healthy can those? I mean, because really, Paul George and Kawhi both have had season-ending injuries several times. So you know what I mean. And James Harden doesn't have the injury history, but he has a history of kind of selling in the playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah, but they have so much star power and wisdom on that team that
they do. Like
the
that's
only
why
thing that could, I think the number one thing that overshines them is injuries. That's the only thing that could possibly be like, oh my God, like they were not going to win this series. I don't think any of their past or their chokes or anything of that nature, just 100% injuries. Same thing with the
right.
Warriors, I feel like, in they're playing games and stuff like that. Like, as long as Chris Paul doesn't pull a hammy, as long as Draymond doesn't get kicked out of game, like there's no reason why you guys can't make the playoffs. But who knows? Go ahead.
No, I just think it'll be a good season. I mean a good series, and I think at least for the Clippers, they know that this is their opportunity to go and win a chip. All those players except for I think Kawhi's the only one with a ring on that team.
Yeah, Russ didn't get it.
Russ, James Harden, Paul George, all players who have been at the top of the league for, a decade now, but no rings. So this is their opportunity to go get one.
Sounds about right. All right, young versus old. We got number 3 Timberwolves versus number 6 Suns. Suns have been having a very awkward season, but still finished number 6. Relatively healthy. What kind of health issues are they looking at? I can actually look that up.
I think Bradley Beal has had injuries throughout the season, but right now he's healthy. I think KD's been relatively healthy. Same with Booker. I don't think he's missed significant time. So I think they're all together and they're all healthy right now. But it's just been
Chemistry.
the chemistry, and it's been so up and down. And honestly, when I look at it, I kind of feel bad for that team because at the beginning of the season, everyone thought, "Oh, they're a lock in to make the or shoe in to make the conference finals," just because of the on paper they look fantastic, but that just goes to show you it doesn't always come together that way. And I really feel bad for Devin Booker because I feel like he's had a lot of like turnaround on his team for a young or not well he's still young, but for a guy who's been at the same franchise and he's been the cornerstone of that franchise for a while, and he's just been kind of, I mean, he's been given talent to play with for sure, made a finals, but like it's like every year they just do something new to a new dynamic added to the team, and here they are, great on paper, but they're a 6 seed. So I don't really know how far they go. I do like the Timberwolves. They're a great defensive team. I did watch the Timberwolves and Nuggets game, or at least the second half last week, and I think it was the third quarter. The Timberwolves were just on them. Like the Nuggets looked sloppy, turning the ball over, or maybe this was the second quarter. Um, but yeah, they were in the Nuggets' head, and yes, the Nuggets came away with a win at the end of that game, but the Timberwolves didn't make it easy. And
Hmm.
I think the Timberwolves have something to prove this year. So
So
I
this is
think
the
this.
most alarming thing about that series. Those teams actually played today.
Oh, did
And
they?
now they have to go into a series against each other. What concerns me is out of 38 minutes, Kevin Durant had 15 points. Bradley Beal had 36 points in 38 minutes. And Devin Booker had 23 points in 36 minutes. So, of course, I think 6 points gets cut off of Bradley Beal. 7 to 10 points gets added to Kevin Durant. But the issue and the reason I'm bringing up these stats is because for 29 minutes, Carl Anthony Towns played and got 10 points, and Anthony Edwards played 35 minutes and got 13 points. That's not what I expect next week. What I expect next week is a whole lot of bams. So I think, I'm not saying they took a step back today because I didn't watch the game. It could have just got away from them, and then plus the Suns were probably trying to avoid. I don't think they were trying to avoid nothing, were they? Were they trying to avoid
Uh,
getting seated back?
I think yeah, no, they tied with the Pelicans, so they did need a
Yeah,
dub.
avoiding a play-in tournament's pretty vital. I would say, you can't, like I said, you can't avoid anybody. So get in, fit in, like get in where you belong. with all that being said, and they stopped the Timberwolves from being a better seed, so I would have to watch the highlights of that game. I just know that the Timberwolves are a better team based off of chemistry this year. And yes, the Suns have a lot of star power, but that star power only got them so far with the Nuggets last year. You know what I mean? Like they scored. You remember they scored like 40 points each or something ridiculous. It was
Oh, and they
KD
still and they still lost. Like still.
so I'm like,
Yeah.
the better team should win, and the better team will win in this series. But I really do want the Suns to have a full season, a consistent season with chemistry, and then I don't think any team could beat them.
So you got the Timberwolves winning.
Oh yeah, easy.
How
Not
many? How
easy.
many?
I say Timberwolves in 6.
Okay, 6 games.
Yep. All right,
Yeah,
moving over
I would
to
agree.
moving over to the East. We got number 4 Cavaliers versus number 5 Magic. I don't give a goddamn booty crack about any parts of this series. This series is absolutely butt. No disrespect to the Cavaliers. No disrespect to the Magic, but all disrespect at the same time. This is the boring. I don't want these teams to make it out the first round. And unfortunately, one of them has to. Because neither team excites me, and neither team I would want to upset a Bucks or they would play the Celtics. Well, I would actually want to see that. But 4 versus 5, Cavaliers versus Magic. Who do you got, and why do you even care?
I mean, I'm gonna stick with my controversial take I made a couple weeks ago. I like the Cavaliers. Something about the Cavaliers. I feel like they're gonna go and they're gonna upset somebody. They're gonna ruin somebody's season. It's gonna start with the Orlando Magic. I got the Cavaliers winning in. I'll give them 6 games just because the Magic aren't a terrible team. I definitely see them winning. I can see them winning a game at home, and maybe even a game on the road. But yeah, I take the Cavaliers, man. I like Donovan Mitchell. I like Spider. I like Mobley. I like
I don't like
Allen.
their roster. I don't know. I don't resonate with their players for some reason.
It would
Donovan
be
Mitchell
cool.
hurt, or they just set him out today?
He has been injured for the last couple weeks, but I think he's gonna make a comeback for the playoff games.
I don't like this team at. I don't like either. I don't give a god dang about this.
So you're not gonna watch one game. What if
Uh,
it's an exciting series and it goes to 7 games? Would you watch Game 7?
no, no,
Not even the highlights.
no. You know, I just figured out Tristan Thompson's still in the league. He's been with the Cavs this whole season. He just plays like, I think his average is like 3 minutes,
Oh, okay. He plays
like
garbage
3 to
time.
10 minutes a game.
They have good centers, so I'm kind of surprised they kept him on the roster.
He's probably a dog at practice. All those years and all that skill, he probably gets them right where they need to be. With that said, moving on. Who we have last? All right, last team of the night, or last series of the night, the Bucks versus the Pacers. Who you got? I mean, this one should be a little bit on the easy side, just a little bit though, respectfully.
And I'll start by saying this comes down to how healthy Giannis is, because Giannis just tweaked his calf a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So we don't. I mean, they say he is going to come back for this first series, but is he coming back game 1? Is he coming back game 3? Because without Giannis, if Giannis can't play or Giannis isn't good to go, I could see the Pacers upsetting the Bucks in like a 6 or 7 game series, assuming no Giannis. If Giannis is on the court, the Bucks are winning in 5. I'll give the Pacers 1. But yeah, if he's not on the court, that puts you in kind of scary territory, because now essentially your team is Damian Lillard, which he's had success in the past carrying teams. The Trailblazers have made it out the first round,
Conference championships.
but I don't like it without Giannis. I mean, you have to depend on like Bobby Portis. I think when Giannis went down, Bobby Portis had like a really great game the next game after, and I'm like, Bobby Portis isn't going to do that 4 times in a 7-game series. You're depending on Dame to be Dame time, take it over, which he could do, but I think it just puts you in risky territory if Giannis isn't going to play. So, but assuming he does play, I do have the Bucks in 5.
So I'm trying to look up how long he's out. It doesn't look like he's gonna make it to game one. I have the Bucks winning the series even without Giannis, and I feel like Giannis comes back within the series for sure. So that's how I have it, but it does suck for game one going down 0-1. 0-1 does get it a little scary if he doesn't come back till game three. And if they're riding their high horse and he's not all the way 100%, which nobody will be, so he'll probably be, what, 70, 80. I just don't see them going down 3-0.
I don't know. I would just
1-1
say
helps, but if Giannis comes back as 1-1, I think they take game three.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the Pacers, even though they've had a very up and down season. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, he can give you 30, but he can give you 30 points. They have Pascal Siakam, who was
See,
a
I think I sports bet on Tyrese Halliburton early in the season, and that's when I just gave up on the Pacers.
oh
No, I'm serious. I was
man,
mad. I was hurt.
but they
I
have
kind
they
of give
have
up
good.
on the Pacers this season. I haven't heard too much noise. They're kind of a quiet team, aren't they?
They had a really good start, and then it just tapered down. Like Tyrese Halliburton, he was like on a crazy run to start the season, and then it just kind of dropped down.
I think the Bucks. I think the Bucks have a better team, even without Giannis for this season. I think Dame's not playing around. I think now that he has his time to shine, Bobby Portis is doing his thing out there. They got smacked today by the Magic, but everybody's getting ready for their playoff spots. Nothing would have changed with a win or a loss, or actually potentially the Bucks could have been the. I don't
They
know if
could
they
have
would
been the
have had the
number 2
tiebreaker
seed.
over the Knicks.
Yeah, they would have been the number 2 seed.
Yeah, they definitely took a L there. Got smacked too, 88 to 113. I don't know. Yeah, this is a tough one. It should be a good series just without Giannis. I definitely see them going down at least 1-1 if Giannis doesn't play the first two games.
So it sounds like on the East, it sounds like the play-in tournament's more exciting than the the first round
The
matchups.
East is the East exciting to you? The only thing that's exciting to the East for me
I
is
think
if Jimmy does it again. I wish Joel was like a 6th or 5th seed just because I want to see him do more work in the playoffs and put up 30 on whoever he wants and score wherever he wants. The Heat's the only real exciting thing. The Celtics are going to fumble somewhere down this line, and the Bucks have a chance not to make it, but I don't see them
I
losing
think
this
I
first
think
round.
this I think the East gets exciting once we get out the first round. Once we get out the first round, I think the East actually might get very exciting.
It's just so cool how the West is just from the jump. Hey, like Tuesday, I'm watching basketball. I'm locked in.
Oh, the West is just anarchy. Like it's just uh, I I wouldn't even want to play in the West, man.
Yeah, it's
East
tough.
East you got a chance. You know what I mean? West it's like, dang, we got to fight for our lives every game.
LeBron went to what, 9 championships in a row, man. It was for a reason. I could say that much.
Sure, I think 10.
It wasn't 10.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Alrighty, I think that wraps up about another episode of El Boogie and the Bell. A very special week. We're about to get these playoffs going. El Boogie, do you want to go ahead and take us out?
Sure thing. Hey, like always, appreciate y'all tuning in to the show. Make sure you add us on or follow us on TikTok. Check out our video and our shorts on YouTube at El Boogie and the Bill. And like my homie said, hey, we're gonna tap in with basketball, getting ready for these playoffs. We're excited. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll be back here next week.
Peace.